Hey, hi, hello, good morning, or happy afternoon. You know what time it is? Whew, it's time to check in with the body. Time to let go of some stress. Time to move around. It's a little chilly this morning. Having a little cold snap around here. Still a beautiful day. Happy to say. Happy to be alive. As usual, I'm here to do a little moving, a little checking in with my own body, a little stretching, a little strengthening maybe. And I invite you to join me if you feel like it, however you feel like it. I hope to encourage you to at least take a breath or two and let go of some stress. Maybe do a little wiggle, jiggling things out. Had a kind of turbulent, rough couple of days, pretty emotional, doing a lot of that inside work that tends to grind you up sometimes. So it's good to get back just into the body and wipe the mind clean of thinking. Do some listening, see what my body has to say today. I hope your body has good things to say to you. I'm going to start by taking a couple of breaths to root myself into the center of the earth. Unlock the knees, check in with the alignment, hang myself from the center of the sky, swing the arms a bit. Then I'm going to forward fold from the hips with a relatively flat back, swan diving down, all the way down to put the hands on the floor. You can bend the knees if you need to, or walk the hands out a little bit. And just relax here, relaxing the belly, relaxing the low back, hanging the spine from the hips. Just taking a couple breaths to let gravity do some unwinding there. I'm going to come up from the waist, pulling back in the abdomen, up in the pelvic floor, folding left elbow over right, and pulling the shoulder blades apart, giving myself a nice hug, rounding the spine, and then releasing all that again from the hips. Shaking it out a little bit. Let's come up again, another hug, this time right elbow over left, pulling the shoulder blades apart, pulling up in the pelvic floor, back in the abdomen, rounding the spine. And then releasing all of that again from the hips. Shake that out a little bit. Let's twist over to the left, using the left leg for support and torque. Bringing both arms over to that leg. I'm going to actually increase that twist, bringing the left arm up to gaze past those fingertips. And then bringing that back down to center, using both hands on both legs. Relaxing through the belly again, relaxing through the low back. And then coming over to the right, using both hands on the right leg or foot, pulling the torso over to that side. And then lifting the right arm, gazing past those fingertips. Nice wringing out. Nice hug to all those organs. Coming back to center again, pulling. I'm going to bend the knees, swing the arms back, come into a counter stretch, lifting the chest and the eyes, pushing the hips forward. And then releasing all of that, coming back to neutral. Just shake that out a bit. I'm going to come into a straddle position and stretch out these legs a little bit, dipping the hips to the left. For me, that gives a nice stretch on the inner thigh. to the right and to the left again, and to the right. Thank you for the love. I do appreciate it. Good to see you out there. I'm going to come down on the left side for a one-sided squat, just kind of exploring that stretch. I'm keeping this foot facing forward at first, but then I'm going to, after placing it, I'm going to try to place my weight back on that heel. I'm using this elbow and knee for support and torque, and then I'm going to shift this long leg onto the heel, giving a nice stretch, reaching for that toe. Just giving that a little breath or so to unwind. And then I'm going to push up on that left side, coming back to neutral. Maybe do a little stretch on the top, and then I'm going to come down on the opposite side, bending on the right. Keeping this foot facing forward at first. I'm going to hook this elbow against this knee, giving a nice twist there. Got some crackle pops. And then rolling this long leg onto the heel, reaching for that toe. Just giving that a breath or so to unwind. Rolling back onto the side of the foot and pushing up with this right side. Let's do a little more hip dip. I'm going to reach forward to slide this blanket out of my way, and then rock these feet back together under the hips. Let's do a little hip pushing into each side of the hip, over to the left, over to the right. Do be mindful. I like to kind of explore that hip socket. Definitely don't want to pop that out of the socket, so listen to your own body. It's good to keep that limber though. For me, that feels good. And then again, centering the feet under the hip bones, and now trying to slide those hip bones to each side, keeping them relatively parallel to the floor. Over to the left, maybe pulling down at the end, keeping weight on both feet. And over to the right. For me, that brings the stretch up into the torso. Over to the left, over to the right, and to the left, to the right. Let's shake that out. Shake off the stresses. Do a couple deep breaths, just breathing in on the way up, and then letting that go. Let's do a couple more of those. Breathing in, pulling down with the diaphragm, filling the lungs, holding there for a second or two or three, and then releasing that, squeezing up with the diaphragm to exhale. So on the breath in, pulling air into the lungs, holding there, and then squeezing that air out of the lungs. You can hold there as well. One more, good breath in. Squeezing the air out. Shake that off. Let's do a little arm stretching across the body. I'm going to use my right arm to pull that left arm and trying to relax that arm. Maybe dropping the shoulder. Play with different angles of that. Tilting the head away from that shoulder to get a little neck stretch as well. Letting that go. Let's go to the other side. Using the left arm rather, to pull on the right arm and Dropping that shoulder, tilting the head away. Shaking that out. I'm going to bring arms behind the back, pressing palms, rolling shoulder blades together, rolling elbows towards each other. Start with a counter stretch, pulling down with those fingers, pushing forward with the hips. And then bending forward, making sure not to lock those knees from the hips. Bringing those hands with me now. Still actively stretching the chest by pulling these arms together. Folding from the hips. Drawing my imaginary triceratops line back here. Maybe do some neck ridges, twisting to the left and to the right. I don't know why, in my mind, I'm like a triceratops when I do this move. Pushing from the feet, I'm going to lift. Again, hinging from the hips. Leading with those fingers, coming back into that counter stretch. And then back to neutral. Let's shake that out. Let's do some little arm circles, or little hand circles rather. Stretching those fingers and wrists. And just checking in with the little bones. The other way. Oh, the wind is coming. Let's do some big arm circles. I gotta get a little forward so I don't hit the dome here. Can add knee bends and foot. Squaring the hips, pulling the back hip forward and the forward hip back. Pushing into that back heel. Oh, hey. I had given up on you. I think my phone didn't like getting moved. I'll come back to where we were. Only on the other side. Stepping back with the right foot this time. Into a moderate lunge. Squaring those hips. Keeping the hips relatively perpendicular to the parallel feet. Pushing into that back heel. Just enjoying that lunge position, relaxing the shoulders. And then I'm going to slide that back foot out a little bit more, coming into a deeper lunge. Still trying to make sure not crunch this front knee past the toes, so sliding that back foot out. Bringing both hands down on either side of that front leg. Straighten that leg and aiming my chin for the toes, still pushing into that back heel. And then bringing weight onto both hands, bringing that foot back to meet the back foot and pressing through the palms. Forward just a little bit. Through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head. Pushing into those heels. And then I'm going to scoop the body forward, lifting the chest up above the shoulders, keeping those legs together, lifting the eyes, dropping the belly. Add a nice tongue stretch there if you feel inclined. Like to rock on the toes sometimes a little bit there, get a nice additional stretch. And then lifting those hips, pushing back again. Through the palms, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, pushing into those heels, pressing the heart toward the earth. And I'm going to step forward with that right foot into a nice deep lunge. Don't forget to breathe and smile, whatever else you're doing. I'm going to straighten that leg and then slide that foot out a little bit, keeping my weight on my hands into a splits-ish position, as I like to call it. Kind of like to rock around here, just exploring that hip socket, keeping Keeping control of that stretch with my hands on each side. Rocking on that front leg a little bit. And then pulling that heel back. Bending that leg. Stepping forward with the back foot. Back into a forward fold. Hanging here. If you didn't already do the other side, I encourage you to even that up. I did the other side while we were disconnected. Swinging the arms back, coming into a bit of a counter stretch again, lifting the eyes and chest. Accommodating the dome. Yes, it is getting windy and stormy out. It's good to check in with the body and make sure that I am managing stress well enough to ride the storm, inside and outside. I don't know about you, but they just seem to be relentlessly occurring, except for now and then when there's a break, right? So I think it's super important to give ourselves some love, take time to let go of stresses, keep the body playful and moving and stretching and strong. Body is an amazing meat machine made to move. Thank you for stopping by. I'm going to get on with some inversion and 100 any reps. I will wish you a fantastic day. Is it, I thought it was Friday for a second. I think it's Saturday where I am, but whatever day it is where you are, I hope you're making it everything you want it to be, having a top-notch kind of interaction with yourself and with your day. And if you're just okay, that's okay too. Still worthy of your own unconditional love. Ciao.